Welcome, Kantis Simmons here. So today we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of taking out student loans. Yeah, the pros and cons without taking out student loans. And if you are watching here, let me know that you're here. Click a heart, click a like, click something on this page to let me know that you're here and you're super duper excited about tonight's session. And tonight's session, again, is all about taking out student loans. And I'm super duper excited that you are here. This is going to be a power-packed session. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome to LinkedIn. Also here. Make sure we are adding Instagram. And tonight, I am passionate about this topic tonight. And the reason I'm passionate about it is because, honestly, I personally have no experience in this area. Yeah, I have no experience in this area. Now, if you've ever heard my story, you know that I am irrationally passionate about helping students and college-bound families find money for college. Now, here's the cool thing. I've earned 3 college degrees, and I've done them all on scholarships, right? So I earned my BS degree in chemistry, all on scholarships. I earned my master's degree, all on scholarships. I earned my other master's degree, all on scholarships. And I've made it my business to help other amazing families pay for college, all on scholarships. What's up, Jay Beverly? What's up, UC? What's up, Derek? And so tonight, as we're talking about student loans, I personally, I didn't have any student loans. However, I have had family members and friends have to take out student loans. I've had clients of mine and families that I work with take out student loans. And tonight, again, I want to talk about the pros and the cons of student loans. For those that, what's going on, Carlin? What's going on, Derek? For those that are here on Instagram, if you want to jump over in YouTube, just go to youtube.com/Kantis Simmons. I'll be live there. If you guys are in the chat, let me know what cities you're from. Let me know here in the, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Let me know what cities you're from. Somebody says hand pink waving. I love it. Let me know what cities you're from. Also, when you let me know what cities you're from, also let me know if you are a student, high school student going into college. Let me know if you're a college student you're currently in college. Let me know if you are a parent who's here to get more information. All right. Yeah, let me know that there in the chat area. And I do want to say this, I want to be so kind, and I talk about just my passion around scholarships and everything. Here's what I want to do. If you are on tonight live, I want to give you a free copy of my newest book. I say it's a new book because it's probably new. It's new, but it's actually kind of old, right? Old because I've been documenting the secrets over the last few years that have helped me as well as help the families that I've worked with. All right. So like I said, I'm all about scholarships. I'm all about helping families find money for college. So if you're watching this, if you're on live here, whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, if you want a copy of this book, go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Actually, the name of the book is Scholarship Secrets Revealed, the roadmap to locate, land, and lock down college funding. And if you want a free copy of this, hey, go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. And what we'll do, my team and I'll send you a copy of this. Hey, all I ask you to do is take care of shipping and handling. Small fee there to make sure the post office gets you your book. And after that, I would love for you to read it. I would love for you to do the principles in this book. And then I would love for you to let me know the results. All right. Like, I get excited when I hear the results of the students and the families that have used the resources out of this. So, hey, go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Yes, welcome. What's up, Derek from Detroit? What's up? Is that Lil Zeke Coates from ATL Educator? Welcome. What's up, Brandon? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Charles Hanks is a college administrator. Shout out to college. Shout out Charles Hanks. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Charles, for the amazing things that I know that you do on your college campus. Welcome. Miss Viola Collier, welcome from New Orleans. She's a parent of one in college, fall 22 and 21. One heading to college in fall 23. Okay. And by the way, if you guys don't know this, and this is a prelude to what we'll talk about. So Miss Viola, she currently has a student in college now, fall of 2022, and another one going in fall of 2023. So Miss Viola, if you don't know this, and this is for all the parents, if you have two kids in school, right, at the same time, if you have two students in school at the same time, there are benefits for you when you complete FAFSA. Make sure you indicate that you have two kids in school at the same time, all right? That's going to impact your EFC number to show them that, hey, whatever they give back to you, that's actually going to be split between two people, okay? So Ms. Viola, of course, you know that, right? If you know that, make sure that you utilize that, all right? What's up, Brandon? He said, what up? All right, so that's to all the parents. That's a nice little cool tip there, all right? So I think I left my pencil in the other room. However, I will communicate this 3-step funding framework, all right? So here's how I recommend you pay for college, all right? And I'm gonna show you how student loans come into play here, all right? So here's my 3-step framework. GM plus OM plus YM is how you pay for college, all right? GM plus OM plus YM is how you pay for college. Now you say, Kantis, what is the GM? All right. The GM is the government's money. Okay. Now this equation is an additive equation. All right. GM is the government's money plus OM is other people's money. Now there are two types of other people's money, right? There's other people's money that you don't have to pay back in the form of scholarships, in the form of grants. And then there's other people's money that you do have to pay back in the form of student loans. Got it? All right, so we got GM plus OM, other people's money that you do have to pay back, other people's money that you don't have to pay back. And then we have YM. YM is your money, right? Is your money. All right, so now when we look at GM, the government's money, other people's money, YM, your money, when we put all those together, the goal is now we're able to take care of the college tuition bill. All right. So do me a favor. Let me know. What is the estimated number that you know of, right? Of the schools that you're looking at. All right. If you're a student, what's the tuition? If you're a parent, what's that number that you have to reach that's going to pay the big college tuition bill? Let me know in the chat box. What's going on, Stacy Gumps Butler? She's a parent here from Orlando. Welcome, Miss Stacy. Is that Markia? Welcome. Super excited to hear all of this knowledge. Yes. Welcome. Again, in the chat box, whether you are on YouTube, Instagram, let me know where you're from. All right. Also, while you're doing that, let me know, like, what's that number, right? What's the number that you've been seeing or the number that you have to come up with? All right. What's that number? All right. Per year for your son or your daughter to go to college. What's going on, Michelle? Grateful. What's going on? What's going on, B Mac? Hello. Welcome. We're talking about student loans tonight, the pros and cons. All right. So on average, it's about $41,000 to pay the big college tuition bill. About $41,000. All right. Of course, that's lower. It's an average, and then there's higher, right? But the idea is $41,000 to make that happen, to come up with that. We got to get money from the government, GM. We got to get other people's money in the form of scholarships, other people's money in the form of student loans, and then your money, right? Your savings, the money in your bank account. Now, the way I look at it, I like using other people's money that I don't have to pay back in the form of scholarships and grants, okay? But tonight, let's talk about student loans, all right? Let's talk about student loans. Let's talk about the pros and cons of student loans, right? Because I do understand, like, we want to do what needs to take place to offset what has to come out of our pocket, all right? So let me say again, I've never had a student loan. However, I've had family members with student loans. I've had friends with student loans. I know people who still paying on student loans. And so what I do is that I have spent time educating myself on the student loan situation, because I do know a lot of families are being burdened by student loans, right? Do you know somebody being burdened by student loans? If so, type a 1 in the chat box. Type a 1 in the chat box. Type a 1 in the chat box. All right. Ms. Viola said the cost of education is about $35,000. Okay. And now notice that's $35,000 for 1 year. So if we multiply that by 4 to 5 years, now you're closer to $150,000, $160,000, $200,000. All right. Talian YouTube said 25.7. Okay. All right. Right. So people here on Facebook say, yeah, I'm on Instagram here say, yeah, you know somebody being burdened by student loans. All right. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you some pros and I want to give you some cons. I actually want to give you 7.25 pros and 7.25 cons. If you didn't know, I'm the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers. All right. Oh, and by the way, this is another tip you didn't pay for. All right. When looking for scholarships, and I talk about that in my book, Scholarship Secrets Revealed, right? Again, you can get it over at scholarshipsecretsbook.com. But the idea is leverage what you can leverage when locating and landing college scholarships. Now, I've never ever called myself handicapped, or I never ever classified myself as disabled. But guess what? I could have looked for a scholarship. There are scholarships out there for students that have a birth defect. All right. So in looking for scholarships, what can you leverage? That's a scholarship secret, right? What can you leverage that your student has in your search for scholarships? All right. Their race, their activities, their aspirations, their academics. Are they left-handed? Are they a twin? There are a lot of different ways to do that, okay? But tonight we'll stay focused on student loans, all right? So here we go. Number one, taking out student loans, pros and cons. Pros and cons. If you are ready, type ready in the chat box. Type ready in the chat box. Lovely. Number one, what is a pro? What is a benefit of taking out a student loan, right? A student loan gives you access to higher education, all right? Let's just keep it real. Sometimes by using other people's money now, it will give you access to higher education. All right. So student loans allow students to pursue higher education that may have otherwise been inaccessible due to the high cost. Now, guess what? I know that the number one reason that students drop out of college, or the number one reason that students don't go to college, is because of a lack of money. Yeah, is because of a lack of money. So student loans, a benefit of taking out a student loan is giving your son or your daughter or yourself access to higher education, access to get an education, to get a degree, develop a trade so that you can, right, improve your career, improve your future. So that's a pro. It gives you access in cases where you may not have access because of the cost of it. All right. So number one pro is access to higher education. All right. And here's the thing now, if this stuff is good for you, hey, y'all give me some hearts, give me some love. I want to feel your energy. I know I'm here in the studio by myself, but let me hear the love and a few hearts and likes. That way I know that you're with me, okay? So that's number one, access to higher education. Number two, one of the benefits of taking out or a pro of a student loan is there's no collateral required. Most student loans don't require like a collateral, making them a safer option compared to other forms of lending. Yeah, like in some cases, you don't have to put any money down to get a student loan, right? You don't have to put any money down. The key thing there is showing that you have need for it because you're working towards an education. So that's a great benefit of a student loan, right? There's no collateral required versus you going to buy a house, you going to get a car. A lot of times you got to put some collateral down, okay? So number two, a pro of a student loan is no collateral is needed. All right. Number three, student loans, another benefit is that they have low interest rates. Yeah, student loans generally have lower interest rates than other types of personal loans, okay? They have lower interest rates. That's a huge pro, right? You probably know how much that student loan is how much your loan is for your home, how much your loan is on a car, how much maybe there's a business loan or other loans that are out there. But the benefit or a pro around a student loan is that it has a lower interest rate than other types of personal loans. Okay? All right? Are you guys seeing some of these things? Are you guys understanding? If you're understanding this, type yes. Type yes in the chat box. Type yes in the chat box. Hopefully you are taking notes. And by the way, don't y'all be stingy with this, right? Don't be stingy with this, meaning go ahead and if you can share this with somebody or text somebody and still stay here, let them know this information is there, okay? Let them know, share this with somebody, repost this, email it to them, text them, nudge them, whatever the cool things are there. All right. So number one, again, access to higher education. A student loan will also, there's no collateral required. And number three, there's low interest rates. All right. Number four, another pro of a student loan is the repayment flexibility. Some student loan programs offer flexible repayment options. All right. And these repayment options, they can be based off of your income. All right. Based off of your income. Let's say, for example, right, you've graduated from college, right? You're graduating, and in some cases, based on what your new income will be, we can be flexible on how we pay that student loan back. All right. So based on whomever your loan provider is or your loan service agent is. And by the way, let me say this to you, right? I'm not an official CPA. I'm not that dude. However, I'm an educator. I'm a person that gives people information. Anything that I'm sharing tonight, hey, go verify it with your CPA. Go verify it with a professional or a financial professional. My goal is to help you understand some options that you have to pay the big college tuition bill. All right, you got it? So number four is pro is a repayment flexibility. Being flexible based on your income once you come out of college. All right, number five with student loans are pro is their tax benefits, okay? The interest paid on student loans may be tax deductible in some cases. So what you want to think about is when you're researching different loans, you want to also ask the question, how does this affect my taxes? Or can the taxes be deducted based off of this type of loan? Okay, so that is another pro of a student loan, their tax benefits. Number six is deferment options. Now, listen, I know a lot of people right now who are deferring on their student loans. If you know somebody who's deferring on those student loans, say, I do, right? Say, I do. You ain't got to say, I am. You don't have to say, I am, but say, I do, right? Say, I do if you know somebody. But here's the cool thing about deferment options. Some student loan programs allow for deferment during periods of unemployment. Okay. Like if you're unemployed, there's some deferment options and you have to go let them know that, hey, I'm unemployed. Or maybe you're working on getting another degree. Maybe you're working on getting another degree. There's some deferment options there. Or you're in the military. All right. So if you're unemployed, if you are furthering your education, if you are in the military, guess what? There are some deferment options where paying back this student loan. Okay, that's number 6. That's number 6. Let's go to number 7. Is this good? Let me know. Give me some hearts. Give me some love. Give me some likes. Let me know that you're still there. Let me know that you're still there. All right. Let me know that you're still there. What's up, Matt King? What's up, Miss Polite? I guess that's my polite. I'm not sure. Hopefully I said that correct. My P Polite. All right. Thank you for following me, by the way. All right. So here's number 7. Number 7. A benefit of taking out a student loan is that it can build your credit. Now listen, when you make timely, I said timely, student loan payments, it can help build your credit history. Yeah, by having a student loan, by paying it on time, it can improve your credit history. Now, I know a lot of times we're dealing with teenagers or maybe young adults out of going into college. Say, well, I don't have any credit. Well, guess what? With a student loan and you pay the student loan on time, it will impact your credit history. Okay? So that's a benefit there. That's a benefit there. That's number 7. That's number 7. Credit building. Credit building. All right? Hey, Myrna. I have to get that last name. All right, Myrna there. Okay. So credit building. Now I want to give you 7.25. 7.25. I always show some love to my nub. 7.25. And the 7.25th way, I know it says 8 on the board there, but with student loans, there are no penalties for early repayment. Simply meaning that if you pay off a student loan early, borrowers can pay off their debt ahead of schedule if they choose to, right? So if you're borrowing a student loan, you can pay it off earlier without being penalized. All right. You know, there are some loans out there that when you pay them off early, guess what? You get penalized for it. Well, with student loans, there are no penalties for early repayment. Okay? There are no penalties for that. All right, so let me recap. Let me give you these pros and then we're going to jump into these cons. Let me give you these pros and we're going to jump into these cons. So number 1, access to higher education. Yes, it can benefit you if you don't have the money or the resources to offset the college tuition bill. Remember, GM plus OM plus YM, other people's money. If you don't get it all in scholarships, you don't get it all through federal aid, then you may have to take a student loan. Guess what? A student loan will give you access to higher education. Number 2, no collateral required. You don't have to put down a down payment or anything like that. Number 3, it's a low interest rate compared to mortgages and car loans. It's a low interest rate. There are some flexibility. Number 4, in the repayment process, there are some benefits, tax benefits, and it may be deductible if you have a student loan. Number 6, deferment options. Let's say if you're still in school or if you're experiencing unemployment, there are some benefits there by having a student loan. You don't have to pay it back right now. You can defer it a little bit longer. Also, if you're in the military. Number 7, if you pay your student loan on time, guess what? It improves your credit. Number 7.25, there are no penalties if you choose to pay your student loan off earlier. All right. There are no repayment penalties. Okay. Is this good so far? Let me know in the chat box if this is good. Type good, good, good if this is good. If this is terrible, like, be real. Let me know you hate it, right? So these are some pros. Let me know if this is good. Let me know if this is good. Let me know if this is good. Mr. Charles said this is good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is good. This is good. Give me a few hearts over here. Awesome, awesome. Yes. I'm glad you guys are here. Awesome, awesome. This is good. Cool. Now, with every pro in life, you know that there are some cons. All right? You know that there are some cons. So let me give you some cons and talk about some things that you want to be aware of where student loans are concerned. Thank you, Miss Viola. She says, this is so good. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's talk about these cons. By taking out a student loan, it simply means now you have the burden of debt. All right? Student loans can result in a significant amount of debt that can take many years to pay off. Right? You and I both know families, know individuals. Maybe you're experiencing this right now. It's the burden of the debt. You got your degree like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you're still paying on a student loan. This is why, I'm so, not to bring this up again, but yeah, this is why I'm so passionate about getting scholarships. Because, you are working a job, you're having a family, and you still paying on a degree that you got 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And here's the reality for a lot of parents. They don't want, I call it, 2 generations of student loan debt. So like the parent, you're already dealing with student loan debt, and you don't want that for your son or your daughter. That's why I'm always like, hey, let's do the work now to get scholarships. Let's do the work now to find funding. This is why I'm always adamant about, hey, let's do everything we can. We're applying for FAFSA, GM. Let's do everything we can to get other people's money that we don't have to pay back. And let's do it through scholarships. Because if we don't have the money in our bank account, and if we haven't have anything maybe in savings or in our investing, and we can't write a big check, a lot of people will have to take care of student loans. And those student loans will create a burden, right? They create a debt burden. So that is a con. And by the way, for those that just jumped on, Dr. Camille, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for always supporting. Michael, what's up? For those that want a copy of this, because you're here live, all right? You want to get it before this thing, not shut down, but because you're live, I'll send you a free copy of this. Go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com. It's called Scholarship Secrets Revealed, the roadmap to locate, land, and lock down free college funding. So all the things where scholarships are concerned, I talk about it in this book. And because you're here, I'm going to give you a free copy of that. Just go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Just let me know where to send it. Take care of the small shipping and handling fee, and my team will get it out to you this week. I think they mail on Fridays, all right? All right, so here's another thing. So the first con is debt burdens, right? The burden of debt. Taking out a student loan, it gives you the burden of debt. Number 2, there is interest that is occurred. Yeah, the longer it takes you to repay a student loan, the more interest occurs on that loan, increasing the overall cost of the loan. Now, we all know how interest works, right? But that is a con. If you take out a student loan and realize that if it takes you a long time to repay it, interest is working behind the scenes to grow that number. So now you can 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x the cost of your education if you don't take care of that student loan the right way. Okay? I'm just giving it to you raw, right? So that's the second con. Interest occurred. Number 3, is the repayment obligations. Yeah, when you get other people's money, you have to pay it back. What's up, YB? What's going on, sir? Right? So that is a con. When you take out a student loan, you got to repay it. Student loans must be repaid. Now, check this out. Even if you've lost your job, you still got to pay back that student loan. Even if you're in between loans, you still got to pay back your student loan. Even if you've gotten married, even if you've had a few kids, guess what? You still have to pay back that student loan. So when you are looking at the cost of education and you want to take out a student loan, just know you got to pay it back. All right. Number four, there's opportunity cost. There's opportunity cost. Money spent repaying student loans, that means that's the same money that you could have used for other stuff. Yeah, like a house, retirement, start a business. Yeah, we know about income and expenses, right? So the con of taking out a student loan is the opportunity cost, simply meaning the money that you now have to spend towards the student loan or paying back the student loan, you don't have that money to buy towards the house, to fund a vacation, to start a new business, or to put into retirement. There's the opportunity cost there. Yeah, somebody, Stacy said, this is great information. Yeah. Ms. Viola says, college education is so expensive. I'll even say it this way. It's even more expensive when you don't put a plan together to pay the big college tuition bill. When you don't put a plan together to do the GM plus the OM plus the YM. It's more expensive when you don't take action and you and your son or your daughter, your family is working together to find the resources that are out there. There's money out there. One of my families that I work with, the Randall family, they've come to my boot camp. They've got my book. They've got my course. And guess what? They applied this principle all the way up into the first year of their son's first year in college. And guess what? When it was time to come on campus, they had all the money they needed, all on scholarships, because they put in the work. I say this all the time. If you don't have money to pay for college, your number one job should be looking for money for college. Look for money now, or the money gonna be looking for you later. Yeah, look for money now, or them people gonna be looking for you for their money later. All right, so do know that there's an opportunity cost. That's a con. All right, the money that you're using to pay back the student loan, hey, you could have used that money towards your retirement, use that money towards saving. Now, I do want to say this, right? I don't want what I'm sharing tonight to cause you to be embarrassed. I don't want it to make you feel like you're deeper in the ditch. I'm just giving information because I want you to understand, have a plan. Like, have a serious plan. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat your family up. Don't cuss your mama out. Don't cuss your daddy out. Don't cuss whomever out. But the idea is, all right, we got to put a plan together to pay the bill or pay the college tuition bill, or put a plan together to know how we're going to repay this thing. Okay? So I'm just sharing this information to you. Cool? All right, cool. Number 5. Another con is the potential for default. All right? If you a borrower of somebody if you're borrowing money and you're unable to make the loan payments, the loan may go into default, which can have serious consequences for your credit and your financial future. Okay? What's up, unapologetically Joy? What's going on? All right? So another con is the potential for default. if you have a student loan and it goes into default, know that it's going to affect your credit and it can affect your financial future. Just something that you want to know. Number 6, with student loans, there is a limited loan forgiveness options. Although some student loan forgiveness programs are available, they are often limited in scope and eligibility. Right? So people are always looking for like, hey, can you forgive my loan? You can forgive my loan. Yeah. There's some programs out there that if you're eligible, they will forgive the loan. And that's based on a certain scope, based on a certain criteria. But it's limited, okay? It's limited. Now, I know our government, they're doing some amazing things right now to help people forgive some of these loans. But do know that it's based on certain eligibility and is limited. Number seven, when taking out a student loan, it reduces your spending power. Yeah, it reduces your spending power. Monthly loan payments can reduce your spending power, making it harder to manage other financial obligations. Many people feel it right now, right? You got this student loan money, and you know you got to pay the student loan, but you also want to take care of these other financial obligations. But you know if you don't pay the student loan, that it's going to continue to occur interest. And now you have this, you feel powerless a little bit. That's a reality there with the student loan. You reduce your spending power. All right? You reduce your spending power. I'm going to give you 7.25. That's number 7. Let me give you the little love. You know, I get put some love on my nub. 7.2, fifth way. With a student loan, there's no discharge in bankruptcy. Simply meaning student loans can't be discharged in bankruptcy. So you are responsible for repaying the loan even if you're going through a financial hardship. Filing bankruptcy does not get rid of the student loan. And I understand, like, we all go through things in our life, but it's something about those student loans, it will not go away in bankruptcy. If there's a foreclosure on a home, guess what? That student loan will still be there. Okay? So those are some pros and some cons. These are the pros and the cons. Number 1, the burden of debt that comes with taking out a student loan. There's interest occurred. There are repayment obligations. There's the opportunity cost, right? The cost of you can't put that money towards maybe a house or a retirement or other investments. There's the potential of default. Like something may happen, and guess what? You now default on your student loan, and that's going to impact your credit history and your financial future. Number 6, there's limited loan forgiveness options. And I'll talk about that in a few more minutes, like the places where you can. Then there's reduced spending power. Hey, your spending power is limited because now you got to make a decision. Boom. Should I pay the student loan or should I pay the car note? Boom. Student loan or the girls trip? Student loan or towards a new home? You kind of, your power is limited there with the student loan. And lastly, student loans, like if you have to file bankruptcy, guess what? Student loans aren't discharged in bankruptcy. All right? They're not. Cool? Has this been helpful? This been helpful? Let me know. Now, what I want to do, I want to answer some questions. There are some individuals that have sent in questions ahead of time, and I want to answer your questions live. Hopefully this is helpful. If this is helpful, on a scale from 1 to 10 so far, let me know on a scale from 1 to 10 how helpful this is. Let me know in the chat box on a scale from 1 to 10. Or give me some hearts and some love so I can hear you, so I can feel you. Yes, Yes, on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 to 10, is this helpful? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And if you have some questions, specific questions about student loans, hey, pull your question up and I'll answer your question live here. Yep. Cool. Very helpful. Very helpful. Yep. Thumbs up. Thank you, Miss Ellen. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Stacy. Very helpful. Cassandra. What's up, Cassandra? Dawkins says 10. 10. Miss Ellen says 10. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you. If you're just joining me on Instagram, we're talking about taking out student loans, the pros and the cons. And as you guys can see, the different things that are there, right? The reasons, the good and the bad. My objective is to help you understand how are you going to take care of this thing. You have this big college tuition bill. There are so many benefits of a college degree, right? There's so many benefits, right? I feel like college is necessary for a lot of people, right? Especially if you're going into STEM fields, especially if you're looking to advance. How are you going to pay for it? GM plus OM plus YM. It's very simple. GM plus OM plus YM. GM is the government's money. OM is other people's money that come in two forms. Other people's money that you don't have to pay back, like in scholarships, and then other people's money that you do have to pay back in the form of student loans. And then YM, GM plus OM, YM, your money. This whole conversation is, hey, let's put a plan together so we can take care and offset whatever that is to pay that big college tuition bill. All right. So let me I'm going to answer a few questions. These are some questions that came in and I want to answer these. What types of student loans are there? Shout out to Leonard. Leonard pre-submitted this question. I think this is my guy, Cello. Thank you, sir. What types of student loans are out there? Okay. So there are two types of student loans. Number one, there is something called federal student loans. All right. Federal student loans, they are provided by the government. Federal student loans, they have a fixed interest rate. All right. It's a federal loan. Now, you may hear it in the form of Stafford loans. You may hear the name Perkins loan. You may hear Parent Plus loans. Those are all federal student loans that's given from the government, and they got a fixed rate. And each of these loans, they offer different repayment options. Okay. And a lot of these repayment options is based on your income, right? Like an income driven repayment option, saying that, hey, once you get your degree, start working a job, you've graduated, hey, they put a plan together to pay that back. And in some cases, there may be even some loan forgiveness programs out there. Okay. So the first kind is a federal student loan. The second kind of loan is a private student loan, right? A private student loan. These are student loans that are provided by private lenders, such as banks, such as credit unions and online lenders. Okay. So we got federal student loans and then we got private student loans. The best way to identify it is that these are loans that are given by banks, credit unions, online lenders. Now, with private student loans, they typically have variable interest rates, right? It goes up and down and is based on terms and conditions. And that's between you and that lender. And some private loans, in some cases, it may require a cosigner. A parent you met to sign for your son or your daughter, or another relative. And anybody that signs is now responsible for paying back that loan, especially if the student can't pay it back. All right. So there are two types of student loans. There's the federal student loan, right? That's the Perkins and the Stafford and all of those student loans that are provided by the government. And in most cases, there's a fixed rate. And when you graduate and you're working on repaying that thing back, it can be based on your income, right? Your repayment options. So we got federal student loans and then we got private student loans. What are private student loans? Private student loans are loans that are provided by private lenders like banks, credit unions, and online lenders. And in most cases, that interest rate is variable. Okay, it's variable. So you want to take all of those things into consideration. All right. So thank you to Cello, who asked the question, what types of student loans are out there? All right. Here's a second question, another question that popped up. And if you guys have questions too, you can drop those in the chat box if you got any specific questions. Next question. This is from, I think her name is Ilana. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If I pronounced it wrong, forgive me, right? Ilana. Her question is, what grants and loans are available that are forgivable loans? Okay, so you may have a loan or a grant. She said grants and loans, but we're talking about loans here that are forgivable. All right, I did a little research. Let me give you some examples of the loans that are forgivable. Federal Perkins Loan Cancellation Program. Right? This is a loan forgiveness program is available to full-time employees in certain public service fields, such as teaching, law enforcement, and military service. So let's say you have a student loan and you need to get that student loan forgiven. If you work in certain public service fields like law enforcement, or maybe you're a teacher or military, go do the research to see if the federal Perkins loan will work for you. All right, do your own research. Like I said, I'm not a CPA, nor am I a lawyer, nor do I plan on playing one or I'm imitating one. My whole thing is I want to give you the information. Number two, they have something called the Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program. Right, I know that has been changing in different places and states, but this program provides a set amount of money to forgive the loans of teachers, especially teachers who serve in low-income schools for 5 or consecutive years. All right, go do your research. There's stipulations behind it. I don't know all the stipulations. I'm going to give you the information. So you got the Federal Perkins Loan Cancellation, the Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, and Public Service Loan Forgiveness, which simply is the program provides loan forgiveness for full-time employees of government and nonprofit organizations. Okay? And you've made a number of payments over time period. So those are 3. Federal Perkins Loan Cancellation, Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, Public Service Loan Programs. Then you also have, that's not supposed to be con up there. This is another payment plan, forgiveness, and the Nurse Corp Loan Repayment Program. This program provides loan repayment assistance to registered nurses, nurse practitioners, nurse faculty. So if that's you, or you know somebody that is working in underdeserved communities, then you work as a nurse, hey, consider looking into the loan repayment program there for a Nurse Corp. Also, those in the military service loan repayment programs. If you're active duty service members in the military, you may be eligible for a loan repayment assistance. Do your research. Go check in with the Department of Defense and see if that is an option for you. And then there are some state-sponsored loan forgiveness programs. Some states offer loan forgiveness programs for residents who work in certain public fields again. Okay, so you got the state-sponsored loan forgiveness program, and you have the Federal Perkins Loan Program, the Teacher Loan Forgiveness Program, the Public Service Loan Forgiveness, Military Forgiveness Program, nursing, right? So the idea is you want to go do your research based on your fields to see if there are some repayment options out there. Okay? If this is good, all right. Here's the next question. Next question is this. This is from, I want to say Juand. Is that, I want to say Juanda, but it may be Wanda. Right? Maybe Wanda. Maybe your mama put some love on that J and that U and made it Wanda. All right. Juand. And the question is, what's the difference between a personal loan and a subsidized loan. All right. What's the difference between a personal loan and a subsidized loan? A personal loan is a loan that is typically unsecured and it can be used for various purposes. Okay. A personal loan can be used for various purposes, like a house improvement. You could take out a loan for debt consolidation or unexpected expenses. A personal loan typically have higher interest rates. Okay. Personal loans are typically have higher interest rates than a secured subsidized loan. And a personal loan, check this out, it may require a good credit score to qualify. Okay, so personal loans have those, I guess is the benefit. The personal loan, you can use it for variety of purposes. A personal loan, it typically has a higher interest rate. A personal loan, you have to qualify. So it may require a good credit score. All right, that's a personal loan. Now you may have heard the term subsidized loan, subsidized loan. On the other hand, a subsidized loan is a type of loan that's offered by the government and is designated to help students pay for their education. You can't use a subsidized loan to take care of home expenses. You can't use a subsidized loan to take care of other things that may break in your home. And subsidized loans are based off of need-based, right? You have to show that you have need for it, which means you have to apply for FAFSA. And the cool thing about FAFSA, which is the free application of federal student aid, I talk about that on the channel all the time. Like when you apply for FAFSA and the government will let you know what resources are available for you. Another benefit of FAFSA is that it will also let you know what loans are available for you. And, right, it's like, remember, GM plus OM plus YM. FAFSA will also give you an indication of where you need to be so you aren't taking out more student loan dollars than you need to, okay? But a subsidized loan is designated, offered by the government, and is designed just for to pay back the college tuition bill, and is based on need. And traditionally, the subsidized loan, the interest rate is lower than a personal loan. All right. So that is the question there, all on what's the difference between a personal loan versus subsidized. Personal loan, you can use it for multiple reasons. Subsidized loan is from the government and is designed to pay back the college tuition bill. All right. Let me answer these other few questions. I see you got some questions popping up in the chat box here. Another great question from Joshua. Joshua, thank you for submitting your question early. It says, when do the student loan repayments start? How long do you have to pay and at what percentage? All right. When do you have to pay back the student loan? Joshua asks. So typically, you have to start paying back the student loan. What's that song? Whatever the song, the graduation song, right? As you're walking off stage and you're turning the cap, right? After you graduate, that's normally when the repayment process starts. Okay? So the repayment period begins after the student graduates, after they leave school, or they drop out below half-time enrollment, right? So let's say a full-time enrollment is 16 credit hours, and now you like half-time enroll like 1 or 2 credits or whatever. Hey, it's start paying back that student loan, okay? If you drop out of school, guess what? You got to start paying that student loan. If you graduate, you got to start paying that student loan. Now, the time to repay that loan and the interest rate depends on the type of loan that you have. Now, here's the deal. Like when you are going through the student loan process, you're going to, like there would be a person, there would be clearly stated the requirements to pay this thing back. So you want to know, like, all of the things that go into this, you want to ask the right questions. A lot of companies, they have like student loan officer, and you want to know who your student loan officer are, who they are, and how to contact them, and you want to know what the interest rate is and the repayment plan. Okay, so yeah, when you graduate, you got to pay that student loan back. If you choose to drop out of school, got to start paying that student loan back. If you have dropped to have time enrollment in school, you have to pay that student loan back. All right. Now, let me say this, right? Like, there's this little thing going around. I don't agree with it. There are people who I know, they will have a student loan. They will enroll in college, and they will enroll maybe like at 18 credit hours, and they get all this money for the student loan. And then they will start dropping classes down to 14 credit hours, 13 credit hours, and still use the student loan money up to 18. But guess what? Now you're using this money for living expenses, for buying a car, for paying bills on the side, to going out, to buying clothes. I know so many people. I had a good friend who actually had a full scholarship, but took out a student loan so they can have some spending money. And guess what? They still paying back that little student loan right now. So don't get into that trap. Y'all got it? All right. You got it? Next question. This is a big question from John. John, thank you for asking this question. The question is, should parents sign for student loans for their kids? Should parents sign for student loans for their kids? Now, here are 4 things to take into consideration. If a parent signs for a loan, responsibility. All right. If a parent co-signs for a loan, that means the parent is equally responsible for paying back that student loan, even if the student is the primary borrower. Yeah, if you sign, it means you're going into co-responsibility with your student to make sure that thing is paid. Number 2, if you choose to, as a parent, to sign on a loan with your student, guess what? Co-signing for a loan can impact the parent's credit score, both positively and negatively, right? So if the loan is paid on time, voila, it's going to benefit. If the loan goes into default, guess what? It can now damage the parent's credit score. All right. So as a parent, if you choose to sign student loan, it's your responsibility as well. If you default, guess what? It's going to impact your credit score. Number 3, financial stability. If the parent is not in a strong financial position themselves, co-signing for a loan may add to their financial burden. Yeah, as a parent, if you don't have the stability to be able to help pay this thing off, it will be a financial burden for you. Okay? Number 5, before signing for a student loan, I suggest you look into other alternatives, right? Look into scholarships, look into grants, look into other federal federal aid that's out there. There was a young lady, she's on my website, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. What is her name? I think her name is Miss Pam. I can't remember her name. But Miss Pam came to one of my events in Boston, and had a big event in Boston, a college funding event. And her and her husband was about to take out a big student loan, along with their co-sign with their son or their daughter. They think that their son. But because of the information we talked about scholarships, guess what? That saved them thousands and thousands of dollars because they didn't know that their resources are out there. So I showed them what to do to get those scholarships. Guess what? That was an alternative to getting a student loan. So rather than just signing for a student loan as a parent, my encouragement again is to go look at other alternatives for getting this money up. And then lastly, if a parent decides to co-sign on a student loan, it is important to have open and honest communication with your son or your daughter over the responsibility. Yeah, it's important. So you got responsibility. When you do it, it's your responsibility as a parent. Number two, it can affect your credit score. It can go up and it can go down based on how, and if you default on it. Financial stability. If you're having a hard time financially, it may not be wise to do a student loan. Number four, alternatives. Look for alternatives versus just signing the student loan with your son or your daughter. Yeah, look for scholarships. Look for other aid. Look into work study. Work study is where now a person will work on campus or work around the campus to pay the big bill. And lastly, you want to have open communication. Yeah, you want to have open communication. What's up, Georgia Doll? What's going on? What's going on? Right? You want to have open communication, simply meaning like, hey, you and your son or your daughter, you don't want to be beefing. You don't want to be beefing. You don't want family conflict. Because what happens if you sign for that student loan and there's no open communication? We don't have a plan to repay the loan, and then now that affects you as well. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. A few more questions here, then I'll answer some questions that we have here. How hard is it to get a student loan if you don't have credit? Now, here's also like a catch-22, right? Most teenager, young adults, they don't have credit. But how hard is it to get a student loan if you don't have credit? Now, here's the cool thing. Federal student loans, such as the Stafford loan, the Perkins loan, all the federal student loans, they do not require a credit check. No. They don't require a credit check. It's based off of showing that you have need for the money. Okay? So when we look at federal loans, federal student loans versus private student loans, you don't need a credit check. Okay? Also, if you have to take out a student loan and you don't have credit, a student without credit may be able to get a private student loan. Now, if you get a private student loan, you're going to need a cosigner, right? A parent, a relative, somebody that has some good credit history. So the cosigner is now responsible for paying the debt as well, especially if the student is unable to pay it. Okay? So if you don't have credit history, a federal student loan is a great option. If you don't have credit history and you need to get a private student loan, you're going to need a cosigner. However, some schools have something called a credit builder loan. Hey, go to your financial aid office and ask them about a credit builder loan. Some credit unions have a credit builder loan, right? So it's like you're trying to build your credit at the same time you're trying to build your education. And because you're doing a good job of the repayment program, that's going to help you build your credit. All right. So number one, if you got a federal student loan, it's not based on credit. It's based on you showing that you have the need. Number two, if you're doing a private student loan, you probably going to have to get a cosigner and look into credit builder student loans. This is where now, hey, I don't have any credit. However, when I get this loan, it may be offered by a small loan from a credit union. Hey, you getting a small loan, student loan, it's going to help you build your credit because you don't have any credit. All right. Cool. Thank you for that question. Oh, also, too, some colleges have something that's called cosign with the college. So, like some universities, it's like they offer what they call a cosigner release option. That way, over a certain period of time, over a certain time period, they will work with you to make sure that loan is paid off. All right. You don't need a cosigner. It's based on the college. It's based on the conversations and the agreement between you and the college. And that's called like a cosign with the college program. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm looking in the chat box here. Ms. Cassandra said, I just answered one of her questions. What's the average interest rate range for private loans? Honestly, Ms. Cassandra, I don't know. It's all based on the conversations with you and that private loan, right? So based on maybe credit history, based on the co-signer's credit history. You want to have that conversation there, all right? But I do know that in most cases, federal student loans, the Staffers and the Perkins, their interest rates, that's from the government, it could be a lot less than private loans. All right. Thank you, Miss Cassandra, for asking these questions. Thank you. Miss Stacy said she just ordered her book. What book she's talking about? Scholarship Seekers Revealed. I know you guys are watching this live, right? So when you jump off here, you can go get access to this book for free because you're here live, right? Because you're here live, got some limited copies of this. My team and I, we bought a bulk of books and decided to give them away. Scholarship Seekers Revealed, the roadmap to locate, land, and lock down free college funding. Go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Just take care of the small shipping and handling fee. And my team will get it out to you soon as possible. All right. So thank you for that. Another question said, you just answered my question. Does a student's credit come into play with the granting a federal loan? No. All right. Students' credit doesn't come into play because it's all about need-based, right? Federal student loans, they realize that they are used to get into college. They're used to fund the big college tuition bill. Miss Cassandra says she ordered hers earlier. Awesome. Thank you, guys. That is so humbling. Thank you. Miss Ellen says she ordered hers. Salute. I should give y'all, let's see if I got a chime or something. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Miss Ellen. Thank you, Miss Ellen. Thank you, Miss Cassandra. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Miss Viola. Thank you. Now, here's my thing, right? I want you guys to read the book. Don't only read it, but do it. Don't only do it, but let your boy know, right? Let your nephew know. Let your son know. Let your grandson know. Like, whatever I am to you, let me know. Let me know, because I love success stories, right? I love hearing families, and I love the tears of like, man, you saved us so much money by helping us out. Man, what's up, Dr. Raymond Triggs? He said he just received this book today. Looking forward to reading it. Thank you, sir. Also, Dr. Raymond Triggs, Dr. Ray Triggs, he has a great book called Play It Safe. Got a great book called Play It Safe. And it's all about personal safety, helping teenagers and young adults deal with personal safety and phone safety. How many of your kids on their phone all the time? Right? They on their phone a lot? Well, guess what? Dr. Triggs, I know he's a professor. He's also spent many years as a great policeman. It's a great, fine gentleman. And he has a great book called Play It Safe, dealing with police safety. He messaged me the other day. You know, we got some situations going on in our country. And it's like, hey, this is the time for people to understand how to be safe with police. Right? And 95, 99% of the time, police are there to protect and serve and to be safe. However, there are some things that our young people need to know when dealing with the police. There are some things people need to know about personal safety, like hanging out on campus, like going on dates, like on, online dating, like handling people, like going into different situations, like getting on buses, like, there's some personal things you need to do. And there's also some things that need to be done where the phone is concerned, some personal safety. So shout out to Dr. Raymond Trigg. Play It Safe. I think you guys can Google it. Play It Safe. I think it's on Amazon, or go to his website. I believe it's drraymondtriggs.com or Raymond Trigg. I can't, let me see. Yeah, raymondtrigg.com. Dr. Trigg, put the link there in the chat box. Miss Ellen says, what does the government use to calculate the family contribution on the FAFSA? What does the government use to calculate the family contribution on the FAFSA? Great question. So four things. There are four things that come into consideration. Okay. And let me give you a website too, where you can go and actually, It's almost like do a pre-FAFSA before you actually do it. It's called the like an estimator. I'll pull up the website for you. But they take 4 things into consideration. They take the parent's income and the parent's assets. And they take the student's income and the student's assets. So between the parent's assets, the parent's income, and the student's assets and the student's income, they merge all that together. They look at the different factors and all the things that you show, and they put this EFC number together. And let me see if I can find the website here. Let me find the website. Yeah, here's the website. If you go to student aid, let me pull it up. That's not the right one. I have so many windows open. Hold on, y'all. I don't want y'all to judge me. Let me close some of my windows. Yep, here it is. Website. There we go. So if you go up here, here's the link right here. studentaid.gov /aid-estimator. This is where you can estimate the federal student aid before you actually do FAFSA, right? And so you'll come here, you will hit start, and you begin the whole process there. And it's going to ask you a series of questions the same way it would ask you questions when you're completing the FAFSA, right? It's going to ask you for the student's information, date of birth, their marital status. I'll click certain, let's say unmarried. Yeah, I don't want to get caught up in that, but this is like, I love this stuff so much. I'll be here all night. What I want you to do there, if you go to this website, Federal Student Aid, or the studentaid.gov /aid estimator. Okay. Aid estimator, FAFSA aid estimator, and you'll walk through and you can put your numbers in, right? You can put your numbers in, your student's number in. You can determine like which parent. It asks you, about your taxes and everything. Put all those numbers in, and it will give you a forecast of what that EFC number looks like. Okay. So now, hey, sit down with your accountant, your CPA, to verify various things. In my full scholarship program, I talk about 10 different ways that you can maximize your federal aid, right? And listen, if you've completed FAFSA and you feel like the numbers aren't right, that's why I encourage families to complete FAFSA early. Like the door is open in October. Complete it early, so if you find some discrepancies, you can always go back to have them relook at it. Maybe something is wrong. But if you wait till the last minute, you have the option to do that. Okay? Have the option to do that. Yeah, it's called a forecaster. Thank you, Charles. Yeah, a forecaster. But yeah, was this helpful tonight? Let me know. Was this helpful? Was this helpful? I know we're talking about student loans. Was this helpful tonight? Yes, Janita says over here. She says, can I give the information for the book? Yes, Scholarship Secrets Revealed. That's the name of the book, Scholarship Secrets Revealed. Go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Is this what's up, Curtis? Ross. What's up, sir? Yeah, simply go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Get a free copy of it. Just take care of shipping and handling. My team will get it out until I think all the copies are gone. And yeah, go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com. I think the team ships it out on Friday. So what's up, man? How's the family? I ain't gonna say her name. How's the wife? How the kids, Curtis? Tell them I said hello. Was this helpful? Good. What's up, Miss Nina? She says, hello, I'm sorry. She says, hello, I'm late. She says, I have to watch the replay, but I did get my book today. Thank you, Miss Nina. Miss Nina is so faithful. Miss Nina, I'm happy for you and your family. I would love for you guys to read the book, do the book. Let me know um, your thoughts on it. But also, hey, for those of you to get your book, send me a little book fee. You know, it's like a little selfie with a book. Hey, send me a picture that you got your book. Send it to me. DM it to me, or message me, or send it to my email address, Kantis@KantisSimmons.com. What's up, Heather? What's going on? Thank you, Janita. Scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Yeah, y'all take a book fee, like a selfie plus a book. I don't know if I made that word up, a book fee. Just like cheese. No, get your angles right and stuff like that, right? Get your angles right. But listen, you all, I am absolutely thrilled and humbled that you're here. For those that are watching on Instagram, those that are watching on YouTube, I appreciate it. Mr. Charles says, very helpful. Thank you. This helps us to help students before they arrive to college. Mr. Charles, let me know if I can come to your school to benefit your students. Hey, let me know. I speak all over the world. I love what I do, and I've been so blessed, being able to work at NASA for many years and work at SIBA Vision and do some amazing things in my career. I am super duper passionate about making sure that people are prepared and they have the skills they need for their career. And I believe college is a great resource to do that. My big thing is that I hate seeing people with all of this yokes around their neck because of the student loan debt and all the things that come along with it. My parents, who've been married now 52 years, it's always a beautiful thing to know that they didn't have any stress where my education was concerned. And that's why I do what I do, because I want to help more families experience the freedom of getting a college degree, having all the resources to graduate with no debt, so that now you can enjoy the fruits of your labor from your career. And that is a cool thing. As Nina says, would love for you to come to Maryland. Hey, I would love to come to Maryland. Been to Maryland a few times. I think I'll be somewhere next month. Maybe that's North Carolina. But listen, if you go to my website, KantisSimmons.com / go to KantisSimmons.com. You'll see a button there to check availability. My booking manager and my team will work with you to, come to Maryland. I think I'll be across the water next month, going back over to the Middle East to speak over in Qatar, and then also in Saudi Arabia, different places here in the United States. I love what I do. And if I can benefit any of you, then I would love to do that. Miss Stacy says, I went ahead and ordered your other book, Play Your A-Game book as well. Salute to you. Yeah, that's my academic book, Play Your A-Game. PlayYourAGameBook.com. Yeah, I think if you go there, you can get this book free. If you want the other book, you can add in the other book as well. Listen, you guys, I love this. I appreciate this. Janita said thank you. This is perfect timing. Yeah, perfect timing there. This is good. What's up, Miss Cameo? So my son and I are both reading the book. The book is so informative. I'm a parent, however, and I'm in school also, so it helps both of us. Thank you. Listen, Miss Cameo, if you don't mind, hey, take a book fee. Take a picture with the book and yourself and your son. Hey, send it to me. You can DM it to me on Instagram. Send it to me or post it on your social media. Tag me and my team and I'll get that. All right. Listen, you guys, I'm absolutely thrilled that you're here. Absolutely blessed that you're here. And I'm always humbled that people will show up and stay as long as they will to be able to just be here to get this information. We've been here now an hour and 19 minutes and you're still here. And I love it. I'm still here, and I love it. Now, listen, if I can benefit you in any way, hey, you can reach me on all social media platforms. If you're watching this via YouTube, hey, make sure you go subscribe up there. Miss Ellen says, excellent information. Thank you. Miss Nina says, hey, we may need to work together to get him here. I don't know who Miss Kelly is, but hey, Miss Kelly, Miss Watkins, if I can benefit you guys and come to Maryland, let me know. Hey, again, just go over to my website, KantisSimmons.com, to be a benefit there for you. There's the connection. Said yes, at Nina. I love how y'all are messaging each other, and it's popping up on my screen. So yeah, Miss Kelly and Miss Watkins, if I can benefit you guys, hey, let me know. All right. Listen, man, I'm Kantis Simmons, the coolest guy with 7.25 fingers. And on behalf of my team, behalf of my staff, thank you. Thank you so much. Remember this, there's only one game in life that counts, and that is to play your A game. Listen, don't be stingy with this information. If you know somebody that can use this, hey, share this with them. Redirect them. If you want a copy of the book, go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. If I can benefit you in any way, I don't mind if you slide in my DM, and we can go from there. Somebody says, how can I get the book? Simply go to scholarshipsecretsbook.com. Yeah, Miss Kelly, Miss Nina already got her book, so you better hurry up. All right, scholarshipsecretsbook.com. If you want to invest in a few students and families and buy a bulk of books, hey, go over to KantisSimmons.com. Send us a little notification. My team will send you the bulk discounted offer where you can, if you know some families, some churches, some schools that can benefit from that, go over there. All right. Listen, you guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here on this session, all about taking out student loans, the pros and the cons. Hey, you guys have a great time. If you need to watch the replay, hey, go watch the replay. It'll be up for a while. Share it, subscribe, let somebody know. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.